three different types of directives, right? What are those? Tell me. What are the directives we have? Tell me first of all. Hmm? What are the directives we are having? Tell me. Right. We have two different type of directive. Generally speaking, three directives. One is going to be structural. Second one is going to be behavioral. And third one is going to be component itself. It is a directive. When it comes to the structural directive, which will be, what is the purpose of structural? Which is used to add or remove the HTML dynamically. A structural directive which is used to add or remove the HTML dynamically. That is what we call it as a structural. When I say about the behavior, which is used to add or remove the CSS classes and styles dynamically, right? So that means we have seen these two. One is structural, another one is behavior. Structural is used to add or remove the HTML dynamically. Behavior is used to add or remove the CSS styles and classes dynamically. That is how these two. And in order to implement the structural, we have different directives. What directives we have seen? What directives we have seen? Tell me. Very good. We go with ng if, and at the same time ng for that what we have seen, and at the same time ng switch that what we have used. And when it comes to the behavioral directive, we have two things. The first one is going to be, let's have an ng style, and at the same time we will be having an ng class that what I can give. That's it. Ng style is available, and the second one is going to be ng class. So these are inbuilt directives. Okay, these are what we call it as inbuilt directive. But I have a requirement. The requirement is going to be, instead of using the inbuilt directive, I just wanted to create my own. I just wanted to create my own directive. Then at that time, you go with the structural directive. Understand? Sorry, at that time you can go with custom directive. Custom directive means if the above directives are not meet the requirements, then we can have a custom directive. We can have a custom directive and implement the custom logic. Implement the custom logic and we use. And implement the custom logic, and then we can go with that. That is exactly what we call it as a custom directive. That is what we call it as custom directive, that what I can say. Understand? A custom directive is also a directive, and what it is going to be, it is used mainly for what reason? For provide the custom, okay, logic. Okay, custom logic. If you wanted to provide a custom logic, then at that time you can go with that. That is how it is. Now, how do I use it? Now, what exactly the use? How do I write that particular one? That is the one that what we have to understand. So, how do I do that one? To do that one, generally speaking, a custom directive, a custom directive, a custom directive is a class that what I can say. A custom directive is a class which is decorated with at the rate directive. Okay, which is decorated with at the rate directive. That is how it is going to be. Understood? That means what exactly here it is, what we have done. A custom directive is a class which is decorated with at the rate directive, which is decorated with at the rate directive. That is how it is going to. Now, how do I use it? That means how do I create it? That is the one thing. Now, let me open my application one more time. I'll go to the D drive, and in the D drive, we have full stack Angular example. I'll open this one and let me open the command prompt where I can say code space dot that what I can give, and I'm going to close everything, close all. Let's open. Okay, let's open the project. I'll go with the directives demo only. Here only I'm going to create everything. That is what my requirement. So how do I do that one? I'll go to that SRC and there we have the tab. And here we have seen like different example with respect to the directive. Now what I can do is I'm going to right click on here and then open with that integrated terminal. And here in the integrated terminal, I'll be creating a new component here. Let me write ngg c for the component, and the name of the component is going to be, I can say that custom directive is my component, and hyphen skip hyphen test that what I can do. Okay. So how to overcome this issue? Tell me. Very good. I'll clear my screen, change it to the command prompt, and then now you can run the command that we have written. So nggc for the command component, and then custom directive hyphen skip hyphen test that what I can say. Now you can see the time when I'm giving it, it creates a component to me. I haven't created a directive. Remember, I haven't created a directive. Rather, I created a component. And here, I'll do like, the basic sanity here. Let me go to the app component, taking out the selector, copy that, and then go with that index.html, where in that index.html, I'll be giving this one. And after that, we'll be using this particular one in the module so that I can go to my app module, where in my app module, instead of having that one, let's give a custom directive component, where I can say a custom directive component, save this application, and I can use a clear the screen, and I'm going to run my project. So how could I run it? ngs hyphen o hyphen project is equal to directives demo is the project that what I have, and I'm executing it. Right. Cool. Now it is working fine. Okay. Now it is working fine. Then what I just want to do, I just wanted to show you how we can make use of a directive. So to generate the directive by using an Angular, we use a command. That means in order to generate generate Angular custom directives. Custom directive, we use we use a command that is ng generate. Okay, what you want to generate? I'll generate a directive with the name. Okay, with the name what? Let's say test. That means any name you can give. It's a directive name, whatever you want to give. Okay, what I have given ng. In place of generate, you can give G also, and then give the directive and the name of the directive. That can be anything. Directive name can be anything you can give. Now the same thing that what I just want to do here also, let's say ng generate, okay, ng generate, I can say ng generate, and then what you wanted to generate, directive, I just wanted to generate, and whatever the name you people wants to give, you can just give it over there. Now I'm just writing custom d, that what I can say. Okay, custom directive is the one that what I have given, hyphen skip hyphen test, that what I can do. Now you can see the time when I'm clicking on OK, it automatically creates. You can see that what it creates, custom hyphen d directive dot ts, and at the same time it is updated in app dot module dot ts, that what I can say. That means it was created and then it is getting registered under the app module. If you want, you can see, go to the app module, you can see under the declaration section, you can observe that we have the custom d directive which was registered over here. Okay, now let's open the file, what it contains. Just come down a bit where you can find it here. Now you can see this is how it is going to be. What we are having here, at the rate directive, and we have what, a selector, and app custom D is the selector that we are having, and we have an export custom D directive or whatever it might. So here you can see, that means what is the purpose of the custom directive, generally speaking. Suppose ng if is having some purpose, ng for is having some purpose, ng switch is having some purpose. Like the way how it is having, you wanted to maintain a custom functionality across that application consistently. Understand? Across the application, yes, you can use Thirumalaish. Okay, across that application consistently, if you wanted to maintain. That means, let's say, I'm writing some custom logic where if that logic is available, then only I want to display a particular HTML. Whenever user has reboot, then I'm going to remove the behavior. So that kind of logics, if you wanted to maintain consistently across that application, then at that particular moment, here you can go with a custom directive. That means mainly custom directives are used for to maintain the consistent logic. Consistent logic across that application, if you want to maintain, then only you can go with this particular one. Otherwise, it is not required either. Understand? We can use normal directives only, 90% normal directives only, but custom directives will provide a consistent behavior across that application. Simple terms, I can say. Okay, simple terms, I can say it is used to maintain a consistent behavior. Now, how could I use it? Now you can see we have the selector now. Now let me go to my HTML. To which element you wanted to apply, you can just give it over. That maybe I can say this is an example for custom directive, I can say. This is an example for custom directive. Directly you can use. So that whatever the custom logic you people have written here, that logic you can execute it over there. Now, Srikanth, can I use like more than one? Yes, you can. Suppose I applied for H1, where I can say something like a paragraph. Now, in the paragraph, I'm having a content like this. This is the content I'm having in my paragraph. Now, can I apply like, a directive here? Yes, you can do that. That means it doesn't matter that like, for which element you apply the directive, any element you can apply. Now, for which element the directive has applied, we need to get the reference of that element, right? Then only we can do whatever we want. Am I right? Tell me. Am I right? Tell me. That means I applied my custom directive to this H1. That means that H1 reference I need. And I'm applying a directive for a paragraph so that we need to get the reference of this particular one. How do I get the reference of that? To get the reference, we use a interface, that is what we call it as a element ref. You can see I created an object for my element ref. Now you can see element ref is available. What it will do? It will get the reference of that element where we have applied the directive. Understand? Where we have applied the directive, it will get the reference of that particular one. If you want, you can see I'm going to use something like, let's say, console dot log I can give, and I'm going to give EL here and save this application, and I'm going to run my application. Now you can see the application is running right now. If we can right click, go to that inspect, we have a console. Now total how many element references we are having here? Tell me how many element references are available, guys. Please respond. I saw that like no response. Right, we have two. Now if you can open the first reference, now where it was applied, H1 element. Now if you can go to the second element where you can get a paragraph, right? Understood? Tell me, right? That means element ref, what it will do? It will get the reference of the HTML element where the directive was applied. After taking the reference, what you people wants to do, you can see all these are the properties. All these are available. Then what you people wants to give, you can do that. Sorry. What you can do with that. That is how it is going to be. Okay, fine. Now I have applied my element ref. Okay, I just have applied my element ref here, and which will get the reference of this particular element. Okay, fine. This is not required actually, just for your understanding. Now here in that element ref, you can see. Sorry, I'll keep it as it is for now. In that element reference, you can see when I right click and go to that inspect in the console element ref, what property is available? See that what property is available? Native element is available, right? That means I'm going to get like, the native element. And to that native element, we have all these properties are available. In that, maybe you can see, suppose let's say, when I go with PQRS, yes, style property, you can say, okay, style you can see. Somewhere you can find the style also, where it is. Offset to language, data set to attribute to. Ah, you can see we have the style is also available. Somewhere you can find the style also. Okay, it is not showing me here. Maybe it's because of like, the browser also. But we have like, the native element is available. So that what I can do, I'll go to here, go to my application, and then what I just want to do, element reference dot, we have a property that is native element dot. Now here, whatever the property you guys wants to give, when user has applied this directive, that you can specify. Understood? That you can specify. How could I do that one? How could I do that one? Now I just wanted to give maybe the style is equal to style dot. Let's give some border, guys. Border is equal to, you can use some border. Let's say 2 pixel. Okay. I'll be writing solid and then red if I'm using, and save this application, and then you can come. You can see, am I able to apply it or not? Tell me. Yes or no? Generally, what I supposed to do, I need to, if I wanted to apply, I need to write the property for 2 times. Same property I need to for two times. But whenever if I have a requirement like that, then what I can do? I can create a custom directive. I can create a custom directive. Simply I can go there and I can apply it so that every place I'm able to get that. Understand? Every place. Shrikant, can I apply only this border? Means no. You can apply like anything. If you wanted to maintain a good structure or else a consistent structure, whatever you wanted to give, you can just give it over there. Maybe style dot color I can apply. Color is going to be, let's say, I'll be writing some yellow color. Now you can see when I'm giving yellow, I'm able to apply that particular one. And in same way, I just wanted to give some background color, E dot, native element dot, style dot, background, okay, is equal to, maybe I can say black, that what I can give. When I give, let's say black and save this once, and now you can see it's a black background where it comes with yellow letter and we have the red one. So can we have multiple directives, which means having more than one in selector and apply? More, no, it is not possible. You have to create separately. You have to create separately. It is not possible. Okay, right. Now you can see this is how, that means whatever like you people wants to give, you can, and wherever you wanted to give, you can. Suppose I'm removing this. Okay, I'm removing this one here. I'm removing this one from here and save my application. Now you can see only for heading. Suppose let's say I have around 200 pages are available. For all the 200 pages, I wanted to maintain equal font and equal background. That means same font, same background, and also same foreground color and everything, padding and margin and everything. I just wanted to maintain it in a same way. Did you understand what I'm saying? I wanted to maintain it in a same way that what I just wanted to maintain. Then at that time, these are very much helpful because you see here what happened when I'm giving that, when I'm giving that, what happened internally? I'm getting the consistency. Suppose for this paragraph also, I wanted to maintain the same styles or same consistency, then I can't use like, anything. Blindly what I can do, I'm using app custom directive and save it so that automatically we will be having it over. That is how it is going to be. Clear now? Tell me guys, that much simple it is. That is where might be I forgot to explain, but it is not required. Don't worry. I don't want to miss anything. How much it is required, definitely will be looking till that. Okay. This is how a directive is going to be. Custom directive. That means provide a custom logic. Can we apply more than one custom element on a single? No, it is not at all possible. Suppose let's say I have given my custom directive here, and if I'll be writing, let's say ng class or something, if I'm giving, there we have an sorry, custom structural is not possible, I guess. Yes, custom structural is not possible. Behavior is okay. That means if a directive, maybe I can show you another one. I'll take a paragraph here, another paragraph, what I'm taking, and here I'm having some dummy content. Now here you can see, suppose let's say I have already applied an ng if here, and again if I'll be writing, let's say ng's for if I'm using. Now if I'm using like two directive, now you can see cannot have multiple template binding in one element, use only attribute prefixed with star. Understood? Understood here. That means we can have only one directive, one structural directive at a time. Whatever you want to use, you can use and you can make use of it. If we can have multiple, then won't allows you. Then at that time, what we can do, we can use this particular one. Okay. Right. Very good. Right. So this is all about the directives and pipes and whatever, like we discussed everything. Now in today's session, we will start one very good concept in Angular. That is what we call it as services. It's very, very, very important one. Services. How we can make use of the service. Yes, Shiva, I already told you. I already answered. Where you defined means you joined a bit late. I defined here. Okay. Vinod, I created a custom directive. For that, you see, I wrote like, a command here that is ng generate directive and the name of the directive. Okay. Right. Well, now the next one, we are going to understand a new concept today that is going to be what? Services. I'll give an overview of the services today. Okay, services in Angular, that what I can say. What exactly a service is going to be and how do we use it. Okay. Now, uh, I'll tell you a simple requirement here. Let's say, I hope everyone knows about registration pages, login pages. Whenever if you wanted to go with the payment pages, now you can see login and at the same time registration you can see, and at the same time maybe when I go with the payments, they are the three stages that we are having. I mean, three pages I'm having. Now each page I just wanted to generate an OTP. So in order to generate an OTP, we're supposed to write like, some custom logic, and logic or functionality is completely same or different. Tell me. I have a requirement. Then what I can do, I just wanted to write some logic in order to generate what? An OTP. Okay, that means in login page, whenever user has logged in, I'm going to generate that OTP. And the registration page also, I'll generate an OTP. That means some random number I just wanted to generate. That is my requirement. And at the same time, when it comes to the payment also, we just wanted to have an OTP over here. If that is a case, the logic, whatever I have implemented here in login, same logic in registration page, same logic in payments also. That means three times the same logic, I'm writing it in three different components. Right? Yes or no? So that means, do we have any code reusability over there? Do we have any code reusability? Obviously, no. That means always think that whenever if you wanted to implement something, we should always think that the code must be reusable. The code must be reusable. If there is no reusability, then the application architecture is not a good architecture according to the real world. So that is what the reason. Why should I write like, three times in three different component? Understand? Why should I write like, in three different component? Rather, I can write it in one place. Okay. One place, and that place is going to be OTP functionality. And from here, I'm going to give this particular OTP to the payments component and registration component and then login component. If that is the case, how many times I need to write the logic? If that is the case, how many times? One time only. Understand? If that is the case, one time only. And this is what exactly the place where we need to write the reusable logic. Now here I have a component and a component will communicate with the services. Understand? Component is going to be communicating with the services. Now, what is service? A service is a predefined business logic which can be implemented, and we can do the customization according to the requirement. The main advantage is going to be reusability, maintenance will be easy, testing is also easy, security, because services no one can open. Component can be opened by anyone, but services cannot be. And also extensibility, like that, anything whatever you want to do, you can do with the help of services. Now, what is a service? Service is a class which is a collection of factory. Now, what is mean by a factory? Factory is a collection of function. Understand? Service is a set of factory, and factory is a set of functions. Understand? Factory is a set of function, and in Angular, every service will use a design pattern. That is what we call it as a singleton design pattern. That means it creates a single object for very first time, and use the same object across all the requests. Understand? I'll write down, like, few points here. What is meant by a service? A service is a reusable class, which will be created with the help of at the rate injectable decorator. A service is a reusable class which will be created with the help of injectable decorator. At the rate injectable decorator. Now, what is the service? That means what it contains. It contains predefined predefined business logic which can be used which can be used across the application whenever it requires. We can use that particular logic across that application. Wherever you can write. That means we can extend it. That means what are the advantages we are having? Advantages are going to be, I can say, the first one is going to be the reusability, and second one is the security, and third one is going to be testability. You can do the unit testing easily, and also what I can say, maintenance is also going to be very easy, and extensibility. So these are the different things that what I can say. Now, what a service will be having here? What a service will be? A service is set of factories. A service is a service is a set of factories, that what I can say. A service is a set of factory. Now, what is meant by a factory? A factory is a set of functionalities. A factory is a set of functionalities, functionalities, functions. Simply, I can say a factory is a set of functions, I can say. And another important thing, Angular services, Angular services are are using singleton mechanism. Singleton mechanism. Angular services are using singleton mechanism, which means the object, which means the object, the object of the service is created in very first request, in very first request, and can be available across the, or can be used across the application, across that application that can be used. That means one time it creates and that can be used across the application. Now here, and also another thing, Angular services uses dependency injection. What is dependency injection? What is dependency injection? Tell me what you know about it. I can say dependency injection. Dependency injection. Very good. Loosely coupled. Nice. Next. Right. So when I say about what, sir, it will use yeah, Purna, it will use only singleton pattern. It was defined by C. Services are defined by that Angular framework, right? That architecture you can't change it. Right, very good. Now, Angular services uses the dependency injection. Practically speaking, dependency injection is compressed with two components. One is going to be the providers, another one is going to be injectors. Okay, injector. Now, what a provider will do, provider is responsible for locating values or functions where it is available. It will get like each and everything. That means provider is responsible responsible for, okay, injecting injecting the values or functions from the memory. Okay, providers are used to get like responsible for injecting, sorry, responsible for locating, I'm sorry, locating the values and functions from the memory. Now what injector will do? Injector will inject the functions and values used into the component, I can say. That means provider is responsible to pick up the functions and methods or values, whatever we are having, and whatever the values and functionalities it is picking up by the provider, it will be giving it to the component. And who will do that one? Injector will do that. Understand? Injector will do that. That means any dependency injection pattern you can take, we have two things. One is provider, another one is injector. What a provider will do? Provider is responsible for what? Locating the values or function. And the next one is going to be injector. Injector will inject the values to the component. That is how it is going. Understand? That is how it is going to be. Now I will show you like, practically also, like we have some built-in also available. So we have built-in services like HTTP client is the one which we are having. And after that, routing services are available, and security related we have the services, etc. But I will show you first, like, how to create a service. And as I told you, the next session we will understand how a component will share the data from parent to child and child to parent, and all together we will build a real time applications. Okay, let me show you like how do I generate. That means to create a service, the last point here, to create a service in Angular, in Angular, we use a command. We use a command. What command? Same. Ng generate. Okay, name is going to be the service, and here you can give a service name that what you can give. That's up to you. Understood. Now I'm going to show you like how I can make use of it. And before that, what I just want to do is I'm going to create a new application over here. Again, so how do I create it? Tell me someone how to create a new project. How to create a new project here. Huh? How to create a new project? NG. Next. Very good. Generate. What I wanted to generate a new application, and this application is having service demo. I'm creating a new application and the name is going to be service demo. That means we can create like, different services over here. That is the intention. I'm sorry. Now you can see I created my service, project. Let me do like, the basic sanity for this. Go to the project where we have the services demo and we have an SRC. In the styles, we can get what? An import statements. Let's have the node module. We'll be having the bootstrap, dist, CSS, and I'm going to give a bootstrap dot CSS, I can say. And at the same time, I'll be using an import URL where I can give node modules, and I can say that bootstrap icon, we have the font, and then bootstrap icon. The basic sanity, just give me a minute, please. Hello. Sorry, guys. Right. Now you can see the basic sanity that I just wanted to do. Maybe right. This is how it is going to be. Deepu, today is holiday for me. Okay, it's May Day, right? Okay. Uh, Now, what I just want to do is I'm going to, uh, yeah, here I just wanted to create a service first of all. So that right click, open it in integrated terminal. And here in the integrated terminal, I'm going to write a simple command. Now, as I told you, we will be using ng, G for generate, what you wanted to create service. As I told you, like let's say an OTP. Okay, OTP that what I just wanted to have. Let's say I'm creating a service that is a OTP service. I don't want to write the test cases, so that I'll be using hyphen test that what I can say. Now you see the time when I'm writing a command, this is how it is going to be. That means it creates a OTP dot service dot TS file. What it generate? OTP dot service dot TS file. Now you can just go to here, go to the service file. Now what it contains, you can see that same like component directive pipe service also. The only difference is what? Decorator difference. We have the same import statement now. We have a decorator and we have an export class. Same way how the remaining things are, same way. We don't have like any difference. The only difference is, what here? What is the only difference here? The only difference is what? If it is a component, we will be using a component here. If it is going to be, let's say, a directive, we use a directive here, at the rate directive. If it is a pipe, we use at the rate pipe. If it is a service, we have at the rate injectable. Okay, we have at the rate injectable. That means here you can see the only difference is what? Decorator. Based on the decorator only, we will be understanding that it is a class or it is a component, it is a directive, it is a pipe, or it is a service, whatnot. That is what I mentioned here. The very first point for everything I mentioned clearly that you see a service is a reusable class which will be created with the help of what? Injectable decorator. Injectable decorator that we are having. Now, what a service will contain? It contain the custom logic. Whatever the logic you wanted to use it for multiple places, there you can. Now what I am trying to do, it contain a methods man. Simply I'm going to generate OTP, that what I can say. Okay, generate OTP, and I'm taking it as going to be some string type. And here what I can do, I'll create like where a is equal to, I'm using something like math dot random, that what I can say, into, let me give 10. And at the same time math dot random, I'll be using, let's say, b. And then sorry, and then I'm going to use c value, total 6 digits, right? So that c, and then maybe I can go with d value, like that. Whatever like you people wants to give, you can just give it over there. And after completing that, maybe I can go with 4 values only, where otp is equal to, I'm going to combine everything. Let me write a value. Okay, a value, But before that, what I can do is I am using math dot round function, I can say. Okay, a round of a that what I can give. Otherwise, sometimes math dot random means it will get the random value. Math is a object from the JavaScript. It is an object from the JavaScript, and which contains a value random method which will give a random value. Suppose if that random value will contain the decimal also, that means 23.45. If that is a case, when I multiply it with 10, we will be getting like 1.23. But in OTP, did you find any kind of decimals? Tell me, do you find any decimals when you are getting an OTP? No. That is the reason what I am doing. I am using a round method here. Now what it will do, it will just make round of it. So that is how it is going to be. Now what I can do, again, math dot round I can say, where I can give p value. Understood. I'll copy this. I'll copy this C value and then D value, all the values here. Now I can say a C value here and I can say a D value as well here. That's it. Okay. Now finally what I can do, I'm going to return that particular OTP. That's it. A simple function that what I have created in my service. Now, what is the next step? The next step is going to be, we have to make use of this particular service in my component. So how could I create a component? Ngg C for the component. I'll write a simple login component hyphen hyphen skip hyphen test. Okay. Provided in root, we have three values here. One is any. When I give any, it is available in anywhere. When I say about platform, okay, platform, it is available only in this project. When I say about root, this can be accessed in different projects also. Okay, I have total how many projects in my application? Around 5 to 6 projects are available, right? When I use root, then it can be accessible in any of the project which is defined under here. Okay, it means like accessibility. I'll add those points tomorrow. Don't worry. That is where I haven't explained. That means provided in will provide you an access. You can just keep mouse on there. Might be you can get it also. Provided in. Okay. I anyhow I'll just explain you that point. Just today's session, my intention is to show you like how we can inject it. That's it. Now I'm implementing here. Okay, I'm implementing here. Now what I just want to do, I just wanted to use this service in the login component. So how could I do that one? I'll go to my login page. We have the TS file and where I can write the login. As I told you, service once you created, it provides you the data. We have to inject here. So how I can do that? To do that, maybe what I can do is I'll just use something like implements on init. Slowly, we will be discussing about life cycle hooks. Uh, it is something like on init. What it will do is whenever the page is loaded, then if you wanted to execute some functionality, there you can write it here. On init is an interface. It provides a method which is going to be ng on init is available. Okay, it will be executed whenever this component is loaded. It's a default behavior. Generally, we call it as going to be life cycle hook. We'll be explaining that later. Just what I'm trying to do, I'm going to create a simple variable here, public code, or else let's say OTP that what I can give, which is of type string, is equal to, and I'm writing like this. This is the first one. Now the next one, what you need to do is, we will be getting the service. How do I get the service? For that, we use a constructor and then create a service object here, private service. Now, what is the service we have? OTP service. OTP service. This is what we call it as a injection. That means I have my service which is available here. Service will provide some functionality in order to generate that OTP. I want to use that service so that I can inject it in my component with the help of what? Constructor. I used a constructor and then I'm injecting the service. I'm using what? A constructor, and at the same time I'm injecting the service that what I'm having. I'm injecting the service that what I'm having. This is what we call it as injection. Now we are going to inject the service only with the help of constructor only. Abhishek, I already told you on init as an interface, which is a life cycle hook. You can see that a life cycle hook. At this moment, ignore it. I'll explain you later. Okay. Okay. Na? Right. Now you can see I have a login component. Here what I'm doing, I'm going to get that particular one. In constructor only we can use. In constructor only we can use. Now what I can do, I'm going to call it. So how I can do that? Simply this dot OTP is equal to, I can say that this dot service dot, I'm calling the generate OTP method. See there? And at the same time, I'm going to have another one that is something like, let's say public, okay, new OTP I can say, which is another method. And here also the same thing, this dot OTP is equal to this dot service dot generate OTP I can say. That's it. So this is how it is going to be. Now what I want to do, I'm going to write some button or whatever, which can be doing that, which can be used to get the code. Simply what I can say. Now how I can do that? Simply, I'll go to my HTML. I'll go to my HTML here, where I can say div, and I have a class that is container hyphen fluid I can say, and I have a div which is going to be login form is the class where it comes with the form. I'm sorry. Where it comes with the form. I'll take a simple H2, and inside that, let me have a span tag. It's a bootstrap icon. Bootstrap icon person fill, I can say. Maybe I can say that user login page or whatever. Okay. And I'll be having a DL where I have a DT username. Just I'm writing an input type as going to be a text which comes with a class that is form control is the class. Second one is going to be maybe the password. Okay. And input type as going to be the password. This is the second one. And after that, DT, verify the code. Okay. Now I can just have a button in order to generate the code so that let's have a button. Mm, I'm using BTN as the class. Okay. BTN as the class. When user click on it, I'm going to execute a method which was defined, that is a new OTP. And for this button, I don't want to generate anything. I'll use some bootstrap arrow, sorry, it's a bootstrap icon, and then bootstrap icon hyphen arrow hyphen clockwise, I can say. Okay. This is how I generate. That's fine. Now I'll go with the DD. Whatever the code we are having, let me get the code. That is OTP. I'm sorry. OTP is the one that what I'm having. I'm going to generate it. And finally, just I'll have a button where I can say BTN hyphen primary, and then with around 100, where I can give log. That's it. So this is how it is going to be. Now what I just want to do is I'll go to my app login, go to the index.html where I can give this particular one, and at the same time I'll be using the app module, and I have the login component where I can give a login component here. And once if it is done, then what I can do, I'll come back here, clear my stream, and nges hyphen o hyphen project is equal to service demo, that what I can do, and save okay. Now you can see. Is it generated or tell me? Okay, like that it is. So this is like, very basic example. As I told you, it's very basic example. But services can be used in much more, and we will be understanding those examples from tomorrow onwards. Okay. That's it, guys, for the day. We will continue tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye. No, initially, let's see, whenever the page is loaded, I'm generating one. That is the reason I wrote the logic in where ng on in it. You can see here, Purna. Ng on in it will get executed only once, first time. Now you can see the first time when my component is loaded, I'm able to get it, right? Yes or no? Am I right? Later, when user click on this, again I'm trying to generate. Okay, uh, that's it. Sahu, for that OTP sending from the email or to the mobile, you cannot handle it in the front end. You're supposed to write like, the backend logic. That means either by using .NET and then Ramakant, that you can try. You can get it in Google. Okay. Sending through email or sending to the mobile, that logic cannot be handled by writing front end. Front end is not capable of holding that much. You must have to write like, the back end logic. That's for sure. Okay. Suresh, that is what I'm telling you this much time. What you wanted to verify, that you can tell me. You can see if you are getting it to your mobile or somewhere, then same thing you can verify from the front end also, whether they have given the value or not by sending it to the back end. But we are not sending it to the back end, right? Then how could you verify that? That is my question. Okay. And another thing is, guys, I'm sending you like, the whole example so far, like whatever we discussed, I'm going to share you like all that examples to you. Those who missed anything, you please start practicing. If you can practice, then only you will be getting. Otherwise, like, it will be very challenging task, because we are almost ready to end the session. After services, hardly like, 3 to 4 concepts which are pending from my end. So that it's very difficult even for you to maintain, to learn like, those many things at a time. That is where like, please, okay, please go through these ones. Again, I'm sharing you like all the projects. Sir, OTP service class can be used in, yes, constructor up. Yes, Prakash, that is what I have done, right? That is like, how the dependency injection works. Bhargavi, mostly, as I told you, by this month, second week, next weekend, I'll try to finish. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. లేదే. లేదు యాక్చువల్గా. Okay. I shared like, all that examples, guys. Uh, Please have a look into it. Don't waste the time, please. I shared like, everything, whatever like we discussed so far, everything I have shared. So please have a look into it and then practice. If you have any doubts, you can just post it over here. So that's it for the day. We will continue tomorrow with input and output. That is component communication. Srinivasa Rao, Angular never able to communicate directly to any of the DB. We should be using, you know, uh, any of the server side. That is one. Any of the server side, we must have to use. Sir, when we are generating an OTP, it is generating can write a simple if condition here. It writes dot. It's just like dot contains rs. Let's say length like